Greetings and welcome to Branded Gunslinger Posse for May 28th, 2025, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. I'm your host, Ralph Judkins, and I'm joined by Leo Llamas of the Smokin Gunz podcast for his debut as the co-host on a show all about your 2-6 San Antonio Gunslingers of the Indoor Football League. We, of course, welcome your comments. Let us know where you are commenting from and any thoughts you have on anything going on. Well, let's get right into it as we bring to the stage the head gunslinger himself, Coach Fuller, as there he is on the stage. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I've been better, but I'm doing all right. I can't complain.
Okay, I guess we'll just get right into it because I know you are a busy man as you're preparing to travel out to Tucson. We're 2-6 at this point, midpoint of the season, but we're 2-4 in conference. What does all of this mean?
Well, it means the conference is a mess. Right now, just with everybody sitting, well, the people we're really worried about are Las Vegas and San Diego and Tucson. So the good and the bad about this is the bad, we're 2-4, but the good is we face everybody that we need to beat. So, and they have to face off against a few other teams who may knock or, bump one or two guys off. Okay. The big thing here is get the 5 to 6 wins in conference. It's kind of where I'm saying I want to be at 6. I think that's a comfortable spot, especially with Las Vegas having to play a few people and San Diego having to play in a few people. It's not the ideal situation, but at the same time, you take what you get, and we're in this position right now, so we got to just make a move and make a push at this thing and handle what's in front of us. You can't worry about playoffs until you win this one this weekend. And that's my speech to them. We're 1-0 every week, and that's just what we got to do.
And it's especially good. We actually have some things working for us, Leo, don't we, with that record?
Yeah, with that record, you're looking at, like you said, you mentioned San Diego and them being at 2 and 2-4 in the conference right now?
2-3.
2-3. But we're just 2 games out, and we hold the tiebreaker currently against that Strike Force team.
And we hold the tiebreaker so far against. Well, actually, we're 1-1 with Bay Area,
right?
But we split with the number 2 team, and they're only the number 2 team, in my opinion, due to one play. And, Coach, you probably already know what that play is. That was the one where they turned over on 4th down because a really good quarterback by the name of Jones made one bad read on one bad key and threw to a covered receiver when he had a wide open that would have gotten the 4th down against Vegas. And that's the only reason they lost to Vegas, because look at who they played. They played everybody, and they did better against them than Vegas did against them, including us.
Yeah.
So who do I think really is the better team? Maybe controversial, but Bay Area looks like the best in the West right now.
Yeah, Bay Area does some things that a lot of arena teams and indoor teams don't do. They're consistent with what they do. They will not get away from it. They got a quarterback who will manage the game. He'll keep them out of 3rd and longs. They got a good running game, and then when they get across the 25, they'll take their shots. But they're really good at keeping themselves out of 3rd and longs. And in this game, if you can do that, you can continue to move the ball. I mean, we held them to – they had 3 play drives over 8 plays. I mean, that's tough in the arena game. And each time it was 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 4th and 1, and that's tough to deal with. And that's why I was telling the guys, for us to be where we want to be, we got to win on 1st down. You win on 1st down against some kind of teams, then they'll struggle, to get, because they're out of their comfortable range, they're out of their being comfortable. But they play very consistent defense, mix in a lot of coverages, and they and they're consistently running the ball, which we tried to do, and we did well in the first half,
We were doing really well on first down, and especially in the first half.
Right. And we knew we could run the ball on them. It's just we made some uncharacteristic mistakes, throwing to a linebacker on a hitch, Nooney fumbling the ball, Khalid fumbling, just some uncharacteristic mistakes that just put the nail in the coffin, and when you look at film, I always tell the guys, it's never as good as you think, it's never as bad as you think. You think you guys played a great game, you go look at the film, and you're like, oh my gosh, we got away with it. You know what I mean? And then you go look at a game that was really bad, and then you're like, well, we did some good things, It's just that second half, kind of the wheels fell off. And against a team like that, they're going to step on you, and they did what they're supposed to do to us not doing what we were supposed to do.
Right. Yeah, it's tough to overcome those turnovers, Coach. It's funny you mentioned earlier about Bay Area. They may be what a lot of people right now consider the best team in the IFL, the way they're playing. And it came up in our show, in the Smokin Gunz podcast earlier this week, a point that was made by some of the fans that maybe there's an advantage there because of the viewpoints or the number of coaches that they have actually focusing on, in-game play and what's going on, and being able to make adjustments because of how many eyes they have on that versus what we have. What is the ideal number of coaches? Do you think that is an advantage for Bay Area, or what's your take on that?
I think it can be an advantage, and not always, because it's not always better to have that many voices, because sometimes things get lost in translation from coach to coach to coach. So I think a good amount of coaches is 4 to 5, each position group, having their own coach. Because then the voices get kind of nullified. You can kind of condense it to your group. But it does help on the sideline. But to be honest, half them coaches don't make decisions like that. I mean, to be honest, Coach Moss is making decisions. The head coach is making decisions, and the old coordinators. That's usually how it works going in. But I cannot say it's not an advantage. I can't say that because I don't know how they do it. But, when you're coming into this thing and you get the job the way I got the job, it's hard to bring on coaches. You know what I mean? It's just hard to bring on coaches, So I just felt it was better just to keep it the way it is. And everybody knows everybody and just roll with that. But I can totally see where some people would think that.
Well, I'll tell you what I saw from where I was, Coach. There were 2 coaches from the Panthers up to the right of our phone booth, both our call-in booth. Both were with iPads. Both were providing input and perspective, not making decisions, just providing input. What they were talking about, obviously, I was a little busy. I wasn't able to listen, but they were there, eye in the sky. So that sounds like, how many coaches do you need in the bench? If you had the 4 or 5 coaches, you'd probably send somebody up to give you some perspective, especially from the opposite side of the field, because that's where we are, and we're able to see it slightly from the other side.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that. It's just not every arena is perfect for that. You know what I mean? To put somebody up, But yeah, it does. I've done it before in my coaching career, had guys up there. It just all depends, who you got on the sideline, how many staff members you got, to be able to do something like that, and then being in the situation we're in, we just felt it was better just to, keep rolling with what we got. Try to use
just what we needed. More change. We needed more change at that point. No. We got what we got. We're going with what we're going. We got the team. Let's go.
Right.
But I'm just thinking that an area that we might want to consider, we might want to be looking for some people that want to intern, that want to join. I don't know.
That's the way you do it. You get your core coaches, and then you grab local coaches,
Yes.
You grab local coaches to come help up. Now you can have a gang of coaches with you. You teach them up. You get them used to the game, and then they're very valuable to you. So that's how you really want to do it. But you got to generate all that in the off season. You got to build your network then, in the off season, because it's tough to have coaches come in the situation we're in, because you're going to end up coaching coaches, in the middle of a season when you're trying to coach players.
Right. And that's not the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the time.
Right.
We do have a question for you. I saw that came in. Do you want to say and answer this question? It's a little further down. Yep, that one right there.
Anything.
Oh, okay. Well, it'd be on the main display. Who's going to be the quarterback next week?
Oh, I want to answer that one.
Okay. I didn't think so, Coach. That's why I paraphrased as, probably not going to answer that one. And that's fine, because why would we?
Right.
Why in the world would we do that?
You want to show your hand?
No, not at all. I like this other comment here by Alex McSwain. Always good to have Alex chiming in on both of our shows. He says it's nice having someone quick to draw on the snipback system, able to say and support, challenge. And I really think it would help to have set of eyes on the opposite side of the field. When I went to Greensboro to help spy on whether a certain quarterback was bobbing his head trying to lure the defenders offside, I was always sitting opposite of the bench looking down. I can see how that would help. If you're not sure, it's like you think you saw, and then have someone say yes, no, if they have a specific assignment for what they're looking for. But a bunch of people yelling at you to make a decision, no, that doesn't help.
No, it doesn't help. But what does help, with the snip back and the way we have it set up now is they're clipping plays as we go, but there is still an 8-second delay, for it to pop up. So we have someone standing there looking at the play, and we've been pretty good the last 2 games at kind of catching it and throwing the flag, especially in the San Diego game. We were really good at, because we were getting in time video. And the snip back, is long as it's manually held instead of the AI version, it gets back to us quicker, so, but it would help to have, 3 guys on pads, it's just not the situation we're in. So, you got the cards you're dealt, and, we're dealing with the cards we're dealt, and we're trying to make it, the best situation we can for everybody,
Right. And even still, if you have more eyes there, at least in the case of a review, and they have an angle on a play, and they're saying throw the flag, it's not going to make a difference in the call for the officials if they can't see it on the camera view. That's the one important view for those. So,
well, we had that in Vegas when we stood out on the field for 20 minutes looking at the view, and they kept trying to find a view, and we're looking at the pad. There's no view. How many different angles you're going to look? Mm-hmm. And that's a big key thing to this challenge deal. They always say, hey, if you got a different view, bring it out to me. But why don't we all have the same view? You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I get a little upset at that.
Well, it's year 1, Coach. I'd expect there's a lot of people that are frustrated because there were a whole bunch of promises made, and I don't want to bag on the league on this show, but I'm going to bag on that product. Yeah, I don't think we got what we were promised, and there's a lot of coaches that are frustrated. I think we did actually have one advantage briefly in the first encounter with Bay Area, is they hadn't worked out how to use all those coaches. And I thought I saw Keith a little jammed up and frustrated, where he was like shaking stuff off in his headset because he was getting too much input. So it is, as Coach said, it can definitely be a 2-edged thing.
Oh, definitely. But, if you got 10 coaches, it usually you can figure it out.
Excellent. Any message for the fans before we let you go? Because we have a player waiting in the wings we want to bring up for the second quarter.
Yeah. I'm disappointed with the way we're playing right now too, so I totally agree. People have opinions. This game will bring out the opinions, and I understand that, especially playing in Philadelphia, how opinionated people are, so
No
I
doubt.
understand that, but our job is to try to put the best product out there, and we're going to continue to grind. We're going to continue to punch the clock. We're going to continue to try to make this team better week by week by week. We're making moves each week. We're trying to bring another piece to the puzzle. And, hopefully we can do that before it's too late and make a run into this thing. But I totally understand it's our job to put a product out there that you can be happy of. I know our guys work hard. I know we put in the work, and I hope folks can be patient with us and try to understand what we are trying to accomplish.
Yeah, Coach. Well, as one of those that has a medium to voice my opinions, and myself being quite opinionated when it comes to gunslinger football, I just want to say we're thrilled to have you at the helm, and much respect for you and the job you're doing, Coach.
Well, I appreciate y'all. You guys' podcast is awesome. It's very honest. You guys try to put out what you guys are really thinking in the back of your head. All I ask of people is, when you have opinions, just make them educated. That's all.
That's a great ending. No, Coach, we will let you go, and that'll do it for our first quarter. That was Coach James Fuller, the head coach of, before we go, guns up, Coach. That is Coach James Fuller, the head coach of your San Antonio Gunslingers. We'll be back with more of Branded when we return, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. Don't go anywhere.
All right, team, huddle up. Just like in surgery, we need precision and teamwork. Trust me, just like on the field, if we stick to the playbook, we'll achieve excellence.
Coach, are you sure about this?
We've trained for this. We're experts. The San Antonio Gunslingers in South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital and Outpatient Center, where precision meets performance.
Dependability. It's expected by our customers, and it's demanded by me. I personally guarantee the certified techs we send to your home and the equipment we install are dependable. John Wayne's American Pride comfort systems are designed specifically for San Antonio's extreme heat and humidity and come with a lifetime warranty. For comfort you can depend on, call John Wayne today.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
And welcome back to the second quarter of Branded. Ralph Judkins along with Leo Llamas here as we bring to the stage our new linebacker, Eric Rasco. How you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing great. Sounding loud and clear on our end. Okay, for those who don't know, tell us about your player resume. How did you get here?
Man, I had just done my pro day earlier this year and wasn't hearing anything. And Coach Bain, our offensive coordinator, reaches out to me on Twitter and is like, "Hey, do you want to come down here? What's your situation?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow." I was up in McKinney, Texas, and living with my mom, and my family's from San Antonio, so I came down here, and I was here the next day. So that's how that happened. Yeah.
All right. And so you had never, that was your pro day for NFL, and you had, this is your first experience with indoor football then?
Yeah, actually, I had never heard of the IFL before. And I had started hearing about it a little bit after my pro day. I heard that we had a team in San Antonio, um, but didn't think anything of it. Didn't think anybody was going to reach out or anything like that. And then a couple weeks later, like I said, Coach Bain reached out, and I got here on a Wednesday of that week. That was the week we played Tulsa. That was my first practice, and then ended up playing with the team on Saturday, and I've been here ever since.
So how did you know Jonathan Bain?
I didn't. He just reached out to me on Twitter one day. I had just been checking my DMs, and I saw something say Coach Jay Bain, so I clicked on it, and I had seen that his I believe he has a relative who's coaching at West Texas A&M now. So I was like, oh, okay, Lone Star Conference. I went to Angelo State, so I was like, well, I'll see what he's got to say. And he was asking me about my situation, and he wanted to get me in contact with Coach Fuller. Called Coach Fuller that night, and like I say, the next morning I was on the road down here to San Antonio. So, yeah.
Yeah,
crazy.
Eric, you said you said it's your first experience with indoor football, and you hadn't even known the IFL. I actually get an opportunity to say hello and bump fists with Eric before every game, right there, because I'm down in the party zone, right on the end zone.
Oh yeah.
And so we have a few words. We share a few words before just about every game, Eric, and that's been fun getting to talk to you a little bit while you're getting prepared. What's that mean to you to be able to kind of interact with people right up on the wall as you're getting ready to play this game, and even during the game? Like, how is that different for you as a player?
I think that's what makes the indoor game unique, is the access the fans have to the players. When you're growing up and you're watching college football and NFL football, you see these guys on Sports Center and TV, and even if you do get a chance to go to the game, you'll never talk to that guy if you're a regular fan, but in this league, it's like, man, you get to talk to the fans on the road, you get to talk to the fans at home. And specifically at home, it's a big deal for me because I'm from San Antonio. So I understand what these young kids are going through who aspire to want to play football. I know what high schools they're going to go through. I know what recruiting is going to be like for them, being that they're here and not in Houston and Dallas. So it's an opportunity to be around people of a community that I come from. And I take that very seriously. And a lot of pride in that. So, yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Well, it's definitely different because, as you say, they have access to you, and you get to have access to them too. If somebody says something, you get to yell right back at them if you want to, and that's just part of the give and take of the game. It's not meant to be personal. They'll yell at you, "Hey, one, whatever," and it's like it doesn't matter. So that's a story. How did you pick, or did you pick your number?
Well,
got him.
Well, I'll tell you this. I came in so I actually drove down on the Tuesday. My first practice was on Wednesday, and I couldn't care less what number I wore. I wore a couple different numbers in college, 39 and 11. But they asked me, "Hey, we've got number 1." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool." It wasn't really like a decision to make, it's just like number 1 is cool, and I mean, it fits pretty tight, but I don't mind it. So,
yeah. Spoken like a true professional. I could care less what number they put on me. He just wants to be out there and compete.
Yeah.
And now, I know you've only been here for a couple of weeks. You're definitely getting looks. You're definitely getting film. Any looks, any calls, any interest so far, or do you think it's a little too early for that to be happening for you?
That's a great question. I don't know what the timeline is on that. I haven't been in contact with anybody specifically, but yeah, right now I'm just kind of focused on week by week. I kind of take it one day at a time, honestly. I focus on the day at hand, and then the team at hand, and then the week at hand. So, but yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. So.
Yeah, true football mentality, right? One day at a time, one game at a time. That goes from your football training and pedigree.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of how I've always went about it is, focus on today. Um, Even though it's good to plan, it's good to know what you want your future to look like, but it'll never happen if you can't solve the problems of today. So
Now, in most teams, the linebacker is the coordinator for the defense. Are you the coordinator for the defense, or is that responsibility gone to somebody else?
well, I would say that our leader of the defense is Clifton Duck. He does a great job of communicating. He's a veteran who he knows indoor ball like the back of his hand. He knows coverage and scheme, and he's really allowed me to kind of just walk into it slow and kind of help me out. I think each week I take a little bit more of an approach to try to be more vocal and attentive with what's going on scheme wise, but I'm not going to take the credit for that though, not at all. So.
But is that something you'd expect to, as a player, eventually grow into and become as you become a veteran, either of the indoor game or of the outdoor game with the team?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of commonly known that linebackers are, that vocal core piece of the defense, and they need to know what's going on in front of them and behind them. And what better way to do that than actually knowing all those things and being the one who communicates those things. So I think it's something that you got to grow into, and you don't have a lot of time to call yourself the new guy or the young guy. So it's something that I've definitely tried to work on, but it'll come with time. So.
Yeah, we got a good question here for you, Eric, from Alex McSwain. One of the most loyal fans of the Gunslingers, been around for a while and is always in and around all things Gunslingers. He says, Eric, has it been tough having to keep your feet planted before the snap? What was the transition like?
Yeah, so yes, 100% for multiple reasons. Number one, because a lot of what I did in college required stimming. It's just a key part of outdoor football. It's showing an alignment here, but you're going to be somewhere else by the time the ball is snapped or post snap. And I think here it's more so line up where you line up and get ready to play ball. I like it though, because it allows you to actually square up on guys, and it's really focused on, who's going to win based off of talent. There's not a lot of, we're going to scheme you up, but that got me the first couple games, especially when teams go on 2. You got these guys sprinting at you in the high motion, and the quarterback goes on 2, and it's like, man, okay, I see guys sprinting at me. He just said, hut, the ball still hasn't moved yet, and now I'm trying not to, so refs have been lenient with me, because a lot of them, from the ones that I've worked with so far, they kind of know, okay, you're new to the game. They're going to talk you through it, but it's definitely been an adjustment for sure. So
somebody's a punter out there. What's the name here on this one? Yeah, we'll put that quote up. Raina Campos says, "Let's go," as in Roscoe. That's what she was going for there. Do you know this punster, Raina Campos, Eric?
I certainly do. I live in the same house as her.
So she's trying to introduce the chant that we can the fans can yell from the sideline to say, let's go. And Leo, you're the guy to lead that in the fan zone.
Yep, so, right there.
A tradition being made right here on the show. I also got to say, in Eric's defense early on, Eric actually saw 2 rule changes. We started the season with the umpire at the healthy 6 helping spot the linebacker. And that was there for that one game. And then the next game, they went to the pink pad or the red pad that's at the 6 that they've got to move every time. And now you're on your own, but you've got nobody to help you and spot you, because that's kind of what the umpire was there for. It was to make sure that you were right. And so Eric's he's actually gone through 2 rule changes in as many games. Which one did you prefer? I mean, you had them both for almost an equal amount of time.
So I didn't know that was a rule change. I thought this whole time it was crew by crew, and if they're short a guy, then they'll use the little belt. So I didn't. I'm glad you told me that, so I know what to expect every week now. The first time I went out there, they had the umpire behind me, and I'll be honest with you, I prefer the little pad, and the reason why is because the last thing I want to do when I am trying to communicate with the front and the back end is hear a guy telling me back up or scoot up or set your feet or hey, you were a little antsy on that one. I just want to focus on football. So now I have this pink little pad. I know where to put my foot. I don't have to hear anybody tell me anything.
It's not barking.
I will
at
say
you.
there's been yeah, it's not barking
chirping.
at me exactly. I got enough people chirping at me between the front and the back end. So that's the last thing I want to hear is that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, you're not worried about, having to backpedal in coverage or something and worry about taking out that official while you're trying to make a tackle or go to a defender, or was that never really a concern of yours?
I think I ran into one in Tulsa, but I wasn't near the play, so I didn't think anything of it. But yeah, I think their job is to move out the way too, so hopefully I shouldn't have to think about that. You know what I mean?
Actually,
or you may know
no.
something different.
No, they're supposed to stay there as a mark for the routes. So the receivers knew where they were and they were a reference point for many different things. And the reason they got moved was the possibility for an umpire pick. And they were the league was very aggressive about calling umpire picks, which helps the defense because obviously he's a person there and the DB or the linebacker has to move around that guy. That creates a problem. That was the reason for it, is they were getting collided with, and that's the reason for the pad. So they moved him over from the other side. We have another comment here for you. Eric, I have to say you're popular with our fan. Quentin Humphreys Sr. Says, an outdoor football player coming to the indoor game, have you had to study more film to make sure you get familiar with the game? Or are your habits the way they usually were?
Yeah, I'd say I've had to study film differently. I wouldn't say it's more film, but so I'm watching a lot because I'm still picking up on a lot of things, focusing on what do I need to do? What is my job? What are we doing here? As you continue to play, and I don't know if this is an outdoor or indoor thing, but I know in outdoor, when I was in college, pretty soon you know what you're doing on every snap. You can lock in on what is the opponent trying to do to me. But my coach in college, Adam Clark, used to tell us you cannot understand what they're doing until you understand what you're doing. So it's been different film study, because that allows you to play fast, knowing what you're doing. What allows you to play savvy and a little bit more, loose is, okay, now I know what they're trying to do. So that's the best way I can answer that, man. Yeah.
Well, great question, of course, from Quentin Humphreys Sr. We wouldn't expect any less. Longtime fan, knows quite a bit, and he's more than just a longtime fan.
Oh, yeah, knows a thing or two about coaching the indoor game.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Eric. I know you want to get back to resting because travel is tomorrow or Friday?
I think we're heading out Friday this week. Yep.
So tomorrow's just the walkthrough and then on your way. So this is part of your rest, and we want to get you to that. And best of luck against Tulsa. Pretty much a must-win game. And we'll tell you guns up and have a good night.
All right.
Let's go.
Take care. Appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Certainly. This has been Eric Rasco, our new linebacker, wearing number 1 and having to live up to the title of number 1. And that'll do it for our second quarter. We'll be back with more of Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, in just a moment.
For generations, the family recipes at Carrabba's Italian Grill have been bringing people together. From the sweet smell of our scratch-made sauce to our rich layers of lasagna, we believe food made with love leads to tables filled with laughter. Dine with us or order out at Carrabba's.com.
Dude, I'm fixing to set that on the corner.
mud in your hands, that means you didn't have fun.
This is what it's come back to, yeah. Trouble under these neon lights. A drink and doubles, keep the change on the ice. I'm on that honky tonk high, dancing with the devil tonight. Another and another and another and one more after that. Yeah, trouble. Under these neon
And welcome back to Branded for the third quarter. Ralph Judkins along with Leo Llamas here from Gunslinger Nation. It's Branded, and this is our first time having Leo on the show, so I thought it'd be appropriate to ask Leo a few questions.
Yeah.
So you have a very different perspective from the game. You sit down in the fan zone on the right-hand side as you look at it on the camera if you watch the game either on the IFLN or you watch the game on the KCWX rebroadcast on Sunday. You're on the right-hand corner as the camera sits.
Right.
What is that like down there?
I think it's great. You know, it takes a little bit of getting used to from an end zone perspective, if that's not your usual perspective on a football game. But I mean, it's awfully convenient. There's a lot of advantages to being right there. First of all, it's the section immediately as you come in the front doors of the Freeman Coliseum. You just walk right straight ahead and right down the stairs, and
there
right
you are.
There you are. Yeah, and that also means that during the game, if you have to go, I don't know, like to the concession stands or the bathrooms, you go right up the stairs. Concession stands are immediately to your left or right, so it's easy to get to those lines. First, the bathroom is just a little bit beyond that, and then there's also a bar right directly behind the tables in the fan zone that sits right at the bottom of the stairs. Yes, brand new this year. Great addition. We don't get the catering like you do in the sidelines along the corral.
Yeah.
But we have the tables right next to me as another longtime gunslinger fan who's been there since the days in the barn, Greg and Kim Nelson, and they're right there, and they always bring a lot of energy. And that's the main thing about the fan zone is the energy in the fan zone. We're banging on the walls. We're in prime position to be able to talk to players before kickoffs. Whether it's our gunslingers or the opposing team.
Are you playing head games down there?
We are. We're talking smack to these guys, telling them their shoes are untied. Anything we can get into their heads before they're about to field this kick. We're making fun of their hair or their jerseys or whatever it might be. We're talking, and the guys seem to like. I'm obviously they're probably used to this sort of thing, and they kind of laugh.
But it's good natured. You're not trying to insult them.
No.
You're just trying to see if they'll play along.
Exactly.
And it's respectful and not line crossing. And I'm assuming you represent the city of San Antonio well.
100%.
Yeah, we want to win, but we're also known for being a city with tourism. We're used to having guests and treating them reasonably well.
We're social. We'll talk in your ear, especially down there. Now there's some guys that are just stone cold focus and then just refuse to acknowledge us. But then there's other players that will turn around and snicker or make a comment And as Alex McSwain here says, players and officials. It's not just to the players, but the officials as well.
Are you playing head games with the zebras?
Well, we try not to. Sometimes I have to reel my fellow fan zoners in a little bit and say, hey, we want them to make that call for us the next time, and maybe not aggravate them so much with the 3 blind mice and the,
Right.
Greg has a great thing where he brings an yellow towels with him, and he'll pull out and wave the towel, and saying, hey, ref, you forgot this. If they fail to make a call that from our perspective looks like probably should have been made. But yeah, it's a great time in the fan zone. You can purchase tickets there individually. I know they're also sold by the table. There's 4 seats per table, but nobody sits at the tables down there. I mean, we're all on the wall or walking around.
It's just a
talking
cup
with each
holder.
other.
The table is just basically a cup holder, and that's where you park the nachos.
Basically. Yeah, it's space to get behind if you got to run away from the wall. If there's a play coming at the wall, you need to make sure you're not there to absorb the wall hitting you, which does happen.
And I also think the table also substitutes or serves as a trophy rack for all the balls that you collect down there, because you're in the end zone. If it misses left or right, somebody back there in the fan zone is collecting a $65 game ball.
That is right. And we've got guys running all over for the balls and to try and capture those. We've got one guy, Jaden, that comes out and he's made a pastime of that. But it's a lot of fun. It's a rowdy, but you're right. We show our South Texas, our South Texas manners, the culture that we have here. We'll get in their ears a little bit and we'll, give them a hard time, but it's always respectful and in good fun. Jeremy Gossett, where do you get tickets for the fan zone? You can purchase those, as far as I know, on Ticketmaster. I think you can call the team. If you have any questions, you can always call the team and they can
call the number on the screen. And if you look at ticket selection, the open end zone, the opposite end of that's the fan zone.
Yep.
They're sold around those tables, so it's a limited number of people. You won't get crowded. The other thing I got to say about the fan zone, unlike the corrals are often with sponsors, and it's always the same people, and you kind of have to behave yourself because usually your boss is somewhere in that corral.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to behave in the fan zone because your boss ain't there.
Right. And as a matter of fact, most of the people around you are encouraging you to not behave yourself so much.
And the bar is right there.
Yeah.
It's sort of like the world is telling you something.
Mm-hmm, yeah. We definitely have a lot of fun and a lot of drinks to kind of get us loosened up a little bit. That's our stretch. The athletes are stretching on the field to get loosened up for their play, and we're lubricating in the fan zone.
So anything special? I mean, this last weekend was probably it's certainly the most fun night. I mean, military appreciation is just awesome, but Star Wars night just seems to bring out, it brings out the nerds, and the freak flags are flying everywhere. How was Star Wars night?
Star Wars night was really cool. It's always a great night. It's always really spectacular to see when the lights go down and you see the lightsabers going off. Then you see the lightsabers on the field from the 6 shooters, and then you see the lightsabers up in the stands and the colors red and blue. I even saw a green one this time as well. Obviously, that was a fan bringing their own personal lightsaber. We have April Stubing joining in here saying all tickets in the party zone and suites are sold through the Gunslinger's office. Contact our tickets rep. So there you go. There's the answer. If you want to look into those party zone tickets for the next few games, I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun. And then, another good point here from Alex McSwain. What's awesome is Don, James, Weston, etc. will come over at some point and check on the fans in the fan zone. Absolutely. Every single game. They'll come and hang out at different times. We'll come and say hello, shake hands. Don's really good about coming and shaking hands and thanking everyone. James Stubings comes and makes his rounds, and Weston's coming over He's shaking hands, but he's also being a fan. He's also down there doing his own fair share of yelling.
What's he doing away from the merchandise booth? He rarely gets away from the merchandise booth.
You know, if I had to deal with all that goes on in the merchant booth, I'd get away for a little while every now and then too.
He's got a crew helping him out. And I guess that'll do it for our third quarter. Time really flies when we're rolling along here. And we'll be back to talk about the fourth quarter and preview a few little things about the game out in Tulsa. We know it is a super, super critical game coming up because we are facing a team that is 2-3 in the West. We are 2-4. To stay in the conversation, we need to get a win in Tulsa this weekend. How can you support your gunslingers and be part of the experience with their fans? We'll get into that in the fourth quarter. We'll be right back with more Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, a tradition of excellence and a legacy of caring. We'll be right back.
We all need hot water. Some of us need more than others. So it's a good thing that State has a wide range of tough commercial-grade water heaters for your home. From standard models to high-efficiency and tankless models, we've got you covered, no matter where you live, what you do, or who started it. To install a State water heater in your home,
Call John Wayne today or visit us at johnwayne.com.
Welcome to the Vegas.
Must be that time of the year again where we work hard and we play hard and eat good pizza.
Hey gunslingers, come try Matanga's, voted best pizza in San Antonio. We are family and deeply invested in our community. After this game, come find a Matanga's near you. Guns up, slices up.
Welcome to South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, an outpatient center. Step into our operating rooms, where highly skilled surgeons work hand in hand with specialized technicians. Our dedicated team has extensive experience and expertise in spine and surgical procedures. Our commitment to patient safety is unwavering. We understand that your well-being is at the heart of everything we do. South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital, an outpatient center where expertise, longevity, and state-of-the-art technology come together for your health.
And welcome back to the fourth quarter of Branded. Ralph Judkins along with Leo Llamas here from Gunslinger Nation. April Stubing caught me in a tongue slip. We are playing Tucson, the Sugar Skulls, not Tulsa. There are too many teams with T's in the name. There's a lot of alliteration going on here. Yes. Yes. And it used to be the Frisco Fighters that might slip you up.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, yeah, great. So how can you get involved with the game this weekend? Well, that is going to Sideliners, and the party starts at 7:30. The kickoff is at 8:05 Central. And I haven't been to a lot of watch parties this season. I think last time I went was 23. Mm-hmm. Talk to me about the watch party experience, because you have been. Oh, now Monica says it's the Frisco Oilers. Yes, yep. It is definitely in many senses the Frisco Oilers. Yeah. Anyhow, so back to the watch party. Monica always with good points. Just timing might have been off there, but.
Well, I could tell you for Sideliners, you mentioned the watch party starts at 7:30. I would say get there earlier because parking can be limited, especially if they have volleyball tournaments going on in the back. It's it's a great facility. There's lots of room. There's TVs all over. It's the first venue that the Gunslingers have been able to host their away game watch parties at. That, I mean, it's a sports bar, so you get the full sports bar experience of sitting at your table. Some of them are high stools that you'll typically find at the sports bars, and just having TVs all around. And you have Gunslinger. The really cool thing is you have Gunslingers games on multiple TVs. So whichever direction you're looking, they're accommodating. And there's always a good turnout. There's people hooping, hollering, ringing their cowbells, even though, no one's there to hear it other than us. But that's just how we do things, in the Gunslingers. I call it Gunslingers Posse, Gunslingers Nation, the fan base. That's how we do things. We don't let up, even if it's an away game. To us, our boys are hearing us ring those cowbells all the way over in Tucson.
So come out, and it's a highly spirited event. And the feature for this watch party, there are rumors of new merchandise that's going to come out, but I can't confirm that. What I can confirm coming out is that you have a chance to buy your military appreciation football or your Star Wars ball when you come to the watch party. They will have those for sale, and be on the lookout for new merchandise. And I wanted to get a comment here from Junior Cervantes. Junior, I got to connect with you with a direct message, because I definitely want you on the show. You and the Chain Crew have been excellent for every year that you've been out there. And I definitely want to recognize that and talk about that aspect of the game, because you are definitely unsung heroes in the game production over there on the far side. And we see you. We worry about you too, because we don't want you to get run over by the football players in the end zone. And I'm sure you've got a few war stories that you could tell. So yeah, Junior Cervantes. And we had a comment from Alex McSwain here. Many watch parties where you get access to buy the specialty jersey before the general public.
That's true. The jersey for the following week, a lot of times, if it's available, if they can have it there, they have it at the watch parties available to purchase. So you're able to get some of the, the Star Wars jersey before the Star Wars game. The military appreciation jersey was available at the watch party before the military appreciation game. And then the good thing about that is, if you're a big guy like me,
you get the size you want before they sell out.
That is 100% correct. So, yep, definitely advantage.
And a question coming in from Joshua Puga. Are our kids allowed at Sideliners to watch the away game?
Yes, it is a family-friendly place. Like I said, they have volleyball tournaments there. They do serve alcohol, but they serve non-alcoholic drinks and food there, for the kids. They have kids menu, I believe. So yes, it is kid and family friendly. No problem having the kiddos at Sideliners.
And you can expect that from almost everything Gunslingers. It's God, it's family, it's football, and family even comes before the football in that mantra. So yes, you can expect to have a great time. April Stubing chiming in saying, the new Six Shooters calendar is available at the watch party this weekend. I got to see a preview of it. If you think the Six Shooters are gorgeous and beautiful, wait till you see them on a calendar. It's inspirational for the young girl in your life, the young woman in your life, that if you want to present a role model, these ladies are role models. They are out there dancing, entertaining, giving their all every single week. Every single time. They did a new hip hop routine. It was featured on Facebook, and Robert Seco had a release on that hit on Facebook, I think earlier today. But that is something that was absolutely amazing. I wasn't sure about the Darth Maul lightsabers when they came out, but
that was cool.
I love the choreography, and it was sweeping, and it was fun, and a dance in the theme. And these are professional dancers. These are by trial. These are the best of. They have tryouts every single year. In fact, I think it's a good time here for me to bring up, and I'll just bring it over here now, the save the date. On the right-hand side, we have the cheer camp on June 28th.
Yep.
And that's going to include 2 different age groups,
Mhm.
2 different times. We have our Meet the Team event coming up at Six Flags. That's before our next home game on June 7th. And the football camp will be Friday, June 20th. More details to come on that. And that will also be split by age group. So save the date for team events that are coming up. And back to the watch party, someone's mentioning that we did have, it was Alex McSwain saying
Yep.
that players will,
Yes.
so players that don't travel with the team or players on injured reserve will come by and soak up the healing good vibes of the fans at the watch party.
Yep, they're there and they're engaging the fans. There's no need to be a little shy or apprehensive about going. They're very approachable, great group of guys, always there.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the fans were approachable to the players.
Oh, well, that too. Yeah, that too. Although some of them may be a little bit, for some of us that are down in the fan zone, they may not want to approach us so much because they're probably thinking some of us are crazy.
Yeah, bring your Sharpies, folks. Bring your
Yes.
Sharpies. And a fan shows up, a player shows up, you can get them to autograph your jersey. My favorite is the silver Sharpie because it works on any surface. If you bring the black Sharpie, okay, but the silver and gold Sharpies I love, and the silver especially works well with the Gunslinger's uniform. So just a little pro tip for those who know about what Sharpie to bring. So that is our 4th quarter. Any other comments tonight before we wrap this up and send this home?
I just have to comment on the 6 shooters and the calendar coming out and just really attest how fantastic those young ladies are. You can't say it enough over the years as they've progressively just gotten better and better. Don Rackler likes to say all the time that he put them up against anybody, even the, up I-35, the Cowboys cheerleaders. And he's 100% correct. They are absolutely fabulous and fantastic. So I can imagine those calendars are going to sell out. So make sure you get out there so you can, be first in line to get those.
Yeah, get there early, get your calendar, and who knows, there may be a 6-shooter showing up at the watch party as well.
Maybe.
You never know what's going to happen until you go to the watch party. Well, that'll do it. We'll take our break and come back and wrap this one up in just a moment. This has been Branded, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. Be back in just a moment.
Quality. Here at John Wayne, it's not just a word, it's our foundation. From the people we employ, to the service that's provided, to the equipment that we design and install, quality matters. For nearly 20 years, providing quality Texas comfort to the San Antonio area communities has been our highest priority. For quality you can count on, call John Wayne today.
John Wayne Service Company is a proud sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslingers.
Hey, what can I say? Comes with the job. 1 minute I'm making a one-hand catch on the sideline. Next minute it's lights out and I'm on the sideline. And that's why I like Complete Care, because they're fast, just like me. They have ultrasound, CAT scan, X-ray, and even on-site lab. So if you get sidelined, know where to go. Complete Care. Official sponsor of the San Antonio Gunslinger.
Yeah. Okay. Get that queued up again. That's 2 miscues tonight. I'm not doing particularly good, but hey, we made it to the end. Gunslingers win. Game over.
Yep.
Let's do our meet and greet. Leo, any last comments before we call this one done?
Just saying it's been fun, a different experience for me than what I'm used to. Thanks for having me. It's been enjoyable. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, this will wrap up our show for May 28th, brought to you by South Texas Spine and Surgical Hospital. Make sure you do all those social media things, please. Helps the algorithm, helps morale, helps build the brand. So for my broadcast partner tonight, Leo Llamas, Ralph Judkins saying, as always, keep your guns up. Good night, everybody.